shot, a life on the brink. The drama opens in the sterile, unforgiving glare of a hospital corridor. The ambient noise of heart monitors and hushed medical chatter sets a heavy, stressful mood. Isabelle Dumont stands outside an intensive care room, staring through the glass at her critically ill mother. A nurse hands her a stark, computerized printout, the latest medical invoice. The total is astronomical, and the deadline to pay is midnight. If she can't clear a portion of it, the life support treatments stop. Desperate, exhausted, and running on pure adrenaline, Isabelle clutches the paper and sprints out of the hospital. She has to get back to the office. The corporate nightmare. Cut to the sleek, high-pressure offices of a prominent corporate firm. It's late evening, but the floor is still bustling. Isabelle is at her desk, frantically typing away, trying to finalize a massive project proposal. Enter Catherine, Isabelle's overbearing, toxic manager. Catherine is dressed impeccably but wears a cruel smile. Instead of acknowledging Isabelle's hard work, Catherine dumps another massive stack of physical folders onto her desk. Isabelle tries to plead her case, mentioning her mother's critical condition and her need for an advance or at least a guarantee of her position. Catherine scoffs, completely devoid of empathy. She tells Isabelle that if she wants to keep her job, she needs to personally deliver a highly confidential, physical contract to a VIP client residing in the city's exclusive, ultra-wealthy Gothic district immediately. Left with no choice, Isabelle grabs the document and rushes into the night. The Gothic estate and the forbidden ritual. The setting shifts dramatically from the modern, glass corporate world to an eerie, sprawling estate surrounded by iron gates and dense fog. This is the lair of the elite and unknown to mortals, the stronghold of the supernatural. Isabelle arrives at the coordinates, finding the massive front doors mysteriously ajar. Seeking anyone to sign the delivery acknowledgement, she steps inside. The interior is a breathtaking contrast of modern, luxury and ancient Gothic architecture. As she wanders deeper into the labyrinthine mansion, the lights suddenly flicker and die. The atmosphere grows heavy, suffocating, and charged with static electricity, guided by a strange, ethereal crimson glow. Isabelle follows a corridor that opens up into a massive, hidden ceremonial chamber. In the center of the room stands a striking, powerful figure, Mr. Lane, the city's most mysterious, media-shy billionaire tycoon. He is shirtless, his physique imposing, surrounded by an inner circle of cloaked figures chanting in a forgotten tongue. The trial of holy fire. This is the night of the ancestral trial. To solidify his absolute authority over the vampire realm, Mr. Lane must endure the trial of holy fire, a mystical, roaring white-hot flame conjured to burn away any weakness. Ordinary humans or lesser supernatural beings would be instantly vaporized by its heat. As the chanting reaches a crescendo, the mystical flames erupt from a stone dais, engulfing Mr. Lane. He stands rigid, absorbing the intense pain and power. Suddenly, a guard spots Isabelle lurking in the shadows, believing her to be an assassin or an intruder trying to disrupt the ritual. The guard lunges forward to seize her. In the ensuing struggle and chaos, Isabelle loses her footing. She trips, tumbling over the perimeter, markers and crashing directly into the roaring epicenter of the holy fire. The fated revelation. The cloaked figures gasp, expecting the human girl to instantly turn to ash. Mr. Lane's eyes snap open, revealing striking, glowing crimson irises. But the expected tragedy doesn't happen. Instead of screaming in agony, Isabelle blinks in confusion. The searing, holy white flames lick against her skin but do not burn her. In fact, her presence causes the chaotic magic of the fire to instantly stabilize and recede. As the smoke clears, she stands perfectly intact, her clothes unscathed, a strange, dormant ancient mark briefly flashing on her collarbone before fading. Isabelle is a hidden half-blood witch, entirely immune to the holy element, and her blood carries the exact scent of the prophetic destined mate Mr. Lane has sought for centuries. Overwhelmed by the sudden stabilization of his power and an intense, supernatural pull, Mr. Lane steps down from the altar. He moves with blinding, vampire speed, pinning a terrified, breathless Isabelle against a stone pillar. The air is thick with tension as he breathes in assent, realizing his hunt is over. Confused, terrified by his glowing eyes, And desperate to escape this waking nightmare, Isabel uses the absolute shock of the room to her advantage. She violently pushes him away, drops the corporate folder, and flees into the dark, foggy night, leaving the powerful vampire lord completely transfixed, holding only the corporate contract she left behind. The story opens on Isabel Dumont, a resilient young woman drowning in financial despair. Her mother is critically ill in the hospital, and Isabel is working herself to the bone under her toxic, abusive boss, Catherine, just to pay the rising medical bills. One evening, after being forced to run an errand in a secluded, elite district, Isabel accidentally wanders into a restricted, Gothic estate. Unbeknownst to her, a secret ritual is taking place. An ancient, powerful vampire lord known in the mortal world as Mr. Lane, the city's most mysterious and wealthy billionaire, CEO, is undergoing a trial by holy fire. This mystical flame burns any ordinary human or low-level supernatural creature to ashes. Suddenly, chaos erupts, and Isabel is pushed directly into the blazing holy fire. Instead of turning to ash, Isabel walks out of the flames completely, unharmed. Mr. Lane watches in absolute shock. He instantly realizes two things. First, she is no ordinary human, but a hidden half-blood which immune to holy fire. Second, her scent confirms she possesses the destined bloodline, meant to be his eternal mate. In the chaotic aftermath, a hyper-intense, fated encounter occurs between them. Overwhelmed by the supernatural energy, Isabel flees into the night as soon as she can break away, leaving the powerful vampire stunned and determined to hunt her down. Act 2. The corporate clashes and the new CEO. The next morning, a deeply shaken Isabel arrives late to her corporate job. Catherine is waiting for her, furious and looking for an excuse to ruin her. Disregarding Isabel's pleas about her mother's condition, Catherine ruthlessly fires her and orders security to throw her out of the building. Desperate and left with nothing to lose, Isabel demands to speak directly to the company's supreme authority, the mysterious, newly appointed billionaire CEO who just bought out the firm. The office doors swing open, and Mr. Lane steps out, flanked by a massive security detail. Catherine immediately switches to a sycophantic, fawning persona, pointing at Isabel and claiming she is just a low-class troublemaker being evicted. Mr. Lane locks eyes with Isabel and instantly recognizes her, to the absolute horror of Catherine and the entire office staff. Mr. Lane ignores Catherine completely. He steps forward, overrides the termination on the spot, and announces that Isabel is not only staying but is being promoted to the lead director of the company's most prestigious project. Catherine is publicly humiliated, establishing a fierce corporate rivalry. Privately, Mr. Lane corners Isabel in his office, pinning her against the wall and making it clear that she belongs to him now. He tells her there is no escape from a vampire, declaring her his personal bride and property. Family feuds and the love triangle, as Isabel tries to navigate her chaotic new life, balancing her high-stakes corporate responsibilities with Mr. Lane's intense, possessive supernatural advances. A dangerous new player enters the game. Enter Simon Scott, Mr. Lane's rebellious, charismatic brother and bitter rival. This sparks a series of high-tension confrontations. In public, it looks like two billionaire brothers fighting over a talented female executive. In reality, it is a deadly supernatural war. Catherine, seeking revenge for her demotion, allies with Simon, attempting to sabotage Isabel's major corporate presentation by stealing her data. However, Mr. Lane uses his vast resources and dark powers to expose Catherine's treachery just in time, leading to Catherine's ultimate downfall and firing. Act 4. The Truth Unlocked and the Final Showdown. The climax of the drama shifts from the boardroom back to the supernatural world. Simon escalates his plan by kidnapping Isabel, taking her to a hidden ritual site. He intends to forcefully drain her destined blood, to overthrow Mr. Lane and claim ultimate dominance over the vampire realm. While held captive, Isabel's dormant witch powers fully awaken under the immense stress. She realizes she isn't a helpless pawn. Her bloodline holds massive, ancient magic. She fights back against Simon, using her immunity to supernatural elements to stall for time. Mr. Lane arrives in a fury, triggering a massive VFX-heavy battle between the two vampire brothers. Simon unleashes a dark curse, but Isabel steps in, using her awakened half-blood witch abilities to shield Mr. Lane and neutralize the dark magic. Together, their combined powers overpower Simon, forcing him into exile and shattering his plans. The setup to the climax, a trap in the shadows. The final act begins in a dark, atmospheric setting. Simon Scott, desperate to overthrow his brother and claim ultimate dominance over the vampire realm, orchestrates a brutal ambush. He uses Catherine's lingering corporate insider access to track Isabel's movements, kidnapping her and dragging her to an ancient, subterranean ritual site beneath the city. When Isabel wakes up, she is bound to a stone altar surrounded by dark relics. Simon stands over her with a silver blade. He plans to completely drain her destined bloodline, to absorb her immunity to holy elements, which would make him invincible against Mr. Lane. Instead of panicking, Isabel focuses the immense stress and proximity to ancient vampire magic trigger something deep within her genes. The dormant mark on her collarbone burns bright blue. Her half-blood witch powers are fully awakening. She begins to quietly chant, using her newfound control over energy to crack the stone bonds holding her down, stalling for every second. The showdown, blood and magic. Just as Simon raises the blade to strike, the heavy iron doors of the chamber are blown off their hinges. Mr. Lane enters, his eyes glowing a fierce, predatory crimson. He moves with blinding vampire speed, tackling Simon across the chamber. The resolution, a new dynasty. The scene cuts to a few weeks later. The contrast is sharp and beautiful, moving from the dark, blood-soaked ritual chambers to a sunlit, ultra-luxurious corporate penthouse office overlooking the entire city skyline. Isabel is no longer the stressed, vulnerable girl running away from hospital bills. She stands tall in an elegant, tailored emerald suit, looking over the company's latest global expansion charts. Thanks to Mr. Lane's elite medical connections and resources, her mother has received a groundbreaking treatment and is completely cured, living comfortably in a secure estate. Isabel has been officially appointed as the global managing director of the firm. Mr. Lane steps out onto the penthouse balcony, looking out at the city he rules. Isabel joins him, leaning against the glass railing. The final scene and closing line. Mr. Lane turns to her, his gaze soft and genuinely human. He wraps his arms around her waist, admitting that while he initially hunted her down, because of an ancient prophecy and her rare bloodline, her sheer resilience, humanity, and strength are what truly conquered his heart. He places a beautifully crafted, antique ring on her finger, signifying her status as both a corporate powerhouse and the queen of the vampire realm. Isabel looks up at him, a confident, knowing smile on her lips. She leans in close and whispers,